If you grew up in Britain during the 50s, 60s, or 70s, you'll know exactly what kind of childhood I'm talking about. The sort where your parents let you disappear for hours, climb anything taller than you, and eat things that had absolutely no business being eaten. And somehow, we survived. But in today's world of health and safety, social media outrage, and supervision at all times, many of the things that were perfectly normal back then would probably land our parents in serious trouble today. So let's go back in time and look at 10 simple things British kids did that would get parents arrested today. Number 10. Riding in the car without seatbelts. Once upon a time, cars were basically metal boxes with wheels. No airbags, no child locks, no seatbelts in the back. You'd just pile in and hope for the best. Mum would be in the passenger seat, Dad driving with one arm, and 3 kids sliding around in the back like loose luggage. If there wasn't enough space, someone sat on the parcel shelf. If you were really lucky, you got to ride in the front standing up, holding the dashboard like a miniature co-pilot. Today, that would be front page news, and a call from social services before you reach the end of the street. Number 9. Playing outside all day with no supervision. You'd eat breakfast, disappear after cartoons, and not come home until the streetlights came on. Nobody worried, nobody tracked you. Your mum didn't have a phone to check in, she just assumed you were fine, somewhere between the park, the woods, or your mate's garden. Now, if a child vanished for more than 15 minutes, there'd be a search party, drones, and a Facebook group within the hour. But back then, that freedom made childhood magical. The entire world was your playground, and as long as you turned up for tea, nobody cared where you'd been. Number 8. Riding bikes without helmets. Every kid had a bike, often second-hand, heavy as iron, and equipped with squeaky brakes. Helmets? Never even heard of them. You'd speed down hills, skid through puddles, and occasionally go flying over the handlebars. If you were lucky, a quick wipe with Germolene and a plaster fixed everything. Parents didn't panic, they just said, "You'll be more careful next time." Today's health and safety standards would have a fit, but back then, a few grazes were part of growing up British. Number 7. Lighting bonfires and playing with matches. Remember Guy Fawkes Night? Whole streets of kids gathered to build massive bonfires, usually supervised by absolutely no one. We'd burn old furniture, throw in a few fireworks, and stand far too close. Someone always singed an eyebrow. Parents didn't call it dangerous, they called it fun. Now, setting fire to a pile of rubbish in your garden would probably bring a fire engine and a police warning. But those smoky nights, the crackling wood, the smell of fireworks, they're etched in every British kid's memory. Number 6. Walking to school alone, even in the rain. It didn't matter if you were 7 or 11, you walked to school, alone, in the rain. Sometimes carrying a dinner tray, a PE kit, and a recorder. Parents didn't give lifts unless it was an emergency, and there was no such thing as a drop-off zone. You simply used your legs. Nowadays, letting a small child walk to school unsupervised would probably get you labeled neglectful. But back then, it taught us independence and a strong appreciation for dry socks. Number 5. Sharing one bottle of pop. Between everyone. Remember those days when you and 5 friends would share the same bottle of fizzy pop from the corner shop? 1 bottle, 10 straws if you were lucky, none if you weren't. Germs didn't exist. You just wiped the top with your sleeve and carried on. Today, people panic about double dipping and sanitizing everything. But somehow, we all survived a childhood powered by shared cola and bacteria. Number 4. Being left in the car. While parents shopped. This one's unthinkable now, but it used to be normal. You'd pull up outside the co-op, Mum would say, "Stay there, I'll be 5 minutes," and disappear for half an hour. You'd sit in the car pretending to drive, flicking the indicators, or honking the horn if you were feeling brave. No one called the police. No one panicked. It was just how things were. Today, the sight of a child alone in a car brings flashing lights and a viral Facebook post. Different times, different rules. Number 3. Buying cigarettes or alcohol for parents. Yes, really. Mum would hand you a note and some coins. Go to the shop and get me 20 players and a bottle of stout. And you'd do it. No questions asked. The shopkeeper knew you, trusted you, and probably added a free sweet for the trouble. Now, both the parent and the shopkeeper would be facing charges, but back then, it was part of being a responsible child. Number 2. Riding in the back of the van or pickup. Every dad seemed to have a mate with a van, and somehow, the back of that van became a luxury taxi for kids. No seats, no belts, just a wooden floor, the smell of oil, and the thrill of bouncing around every corner. It felt like an adventure. You'd wave through the back window, completely unaware that you were one sharp turn away from the road. Nowadays, that would mean a police stop and possibly social services knocking. But at the time, it was pure childhood joy. Number 1. Getting a slap or the look in public. The ultimate taboo today, physical punishment. Back then, though, it was completely normal. One wrong word in Woolworths and Mum's hand would appear faster than lightning. Sometimes you didn't even need the slap. Just the look was enough. Every parent had one, that icy stare that froze you to the spot. It was a silent language of fear and respect. Now, of course, such discipline would be headline news. But ask anyone who grew up back then. We didn't see it as cruelty. It was just how you learned boundaries. And, oddly enough, it worked. Our parents weren't careless. They were confident. The world felt safer, communities were closer, and everyone looked out for each other. There were no mobile phones, no CCTV, and yet somehow fewer fears. Kids had space to grow, fall, scrape their knees, and learn from experience. Yes, it was rough around the edges, but it built resilience and gave us memories that today's overprotected kids might never have. We miss the simplicity, the freedom, the sense that the world belonged to us between breakfast and tea time. Sure, things are safer now, but something's been lost. That small bit of danger that made childhood feel like an adventure. So when we look back and laugh at the madness of it all, maybe we're really missing the feeling of being trusted, of growing up in a Britain that believed kids could handle a few bumps and bruises. So there you have it. 10 simple things British kids did that would get parents arrested today. They might sound shocking now, but for those of us who lived it, they were the best years of our lives. Wild, funny, and full of lessons we'll never forget. If this brought back memories, give the video a like, subscribe for more British nostalgia, and tell us in the comments, what's something you did as a kid that would never be allowed today?